Hello. Good
Hello.
morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. My name is Dom. That is Huddie. It is another beautiful day, but not quite. It's a rainy day here in Michigan. How's it for you?
It was the first rainy day in New York for me yesterday.
Okay, so you caught mine a couple days later.
Yeah, the weather report said switch my shorts for sweater.
Switch them
So
up.
that's where we are in,
Put
in
your
life.
sweaters on your legs.
Let's do it.
It is the morning
It is.
of the 24th day of September, year of our Lord 2024. It is Tuesday. Why don't you recap us with what happened yesterday, Mr. Huddy? How'd the gappers play out as we head into this new day? And then we'll talk about the new gappers of the day. I see a couple on the scan. We'll answer any questions that you guys have, and then we'll get to it.
Okay. Yeah. No, yesterday we had two gappers, NVVE and KAVL. Both of them had some, spikeage in the morning, and then off their morning push, they pretty much faded for the rest of the day. Not all out death between either of them, but definitely just a morning spike, and then they went sideways and down for the rest of the day. So pretty uneventful over there, um, and not much to be really discerned from that, in my opinion.
You're not just doing any dissertations?
No dissertations from that.
What does that make you think about going into today on what feels like a slow week? It's slow all across the board. We don't really have any daily chart set up besides like one or two. We don't really have a ton of crazy
We do have
gappers.
one.
We got one. I said one or two.
Yeah.
We got a couple gappers today. Do you ever just look at Monday and go, oh, this is what they all did? There wasn't a lot of squeeze. There wasn't a lot of potential. The market overall is quite slow, so fade them all.
And I mean, that's not what I would say. Again, I kind of came into yesterday and I said, it's been random. There really isn't a theme. There really isn't, a cycle that we're in. So I think this month will continue being random, which is like, I don't know, a lot of these gappers that are 100%, like 60-40 chance that they either stay up or fade below where they come from. Um, so I think more often than not, you're going to see a fade, but there's still going to be a random one that's going to catch everyone off guard. Maybe like a nano float, maybe, comes from the dollar area. Um, I don't know where it's going to come from, but I will say that the gappers, I was profiting more on them in the first 2 weeks of September than the last week and a half. Um, it seems like for every one that I win on, there's one that kind of stops me out. So it's a bit more choppy right now for the gappers than it has been. I think in like last week of August and first 2 weeks of September, they were pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Jabril asked, do you leave gappers alone the next day after the gap day?
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, there are very few circumstances where I'm swinging into the next day and I'm covering up. But yeah, I don't really have a pattern for day two of the gap. Whether it gaps up or gaps down, like I really don't have much of a pattern to say, I think that day is pretty 50-50, what it's going to do. So
And I feel like
no edge for
it's
me on day
even a
two
higher
usually.
percent chance that there's like nothing going on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, like after day one and the interest leaves, they become incredibly illiquid and they lose their range. And it's just either they continue to fade. So that's like the ones that I like to swing, but hard to guess. So yeah, I mean, yeah, day two, I just don't have a pattern.
Alrighty, well, welcome in everybody. You guys start to funnel in. Joseph's in here, Flo B, Wayne B, Jabril, Mr. Market, Matthew, Mash for Fun. Welcome in, welcome in. Hop in over there to the Clover Trading YouTube chat. Let us know how you're doing, where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, any tickers you want to talk about, if we have time towards the end, we'd be happy to get to them. Make sure, as always, that you hit that subscribe button. If you are not, check right now. Take 14 seconds. Actually, should be a lot quicker, but I'm being generous. Make sure that you are subscribed. We're on a journey to get to 6K subscribers, and that would just make us happy. That's really all you're doing. Just make us happy. And show us your appreciation that we're here every single day. The market is open at 8:45 a.m. Tomorrow morning, we'll be live at 9:15 a.m. Kyle will join us, and we'll do some live trading as well. And we'll do Wine Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So hit the thumbs up button for all that good stuff on the way. And we're going to talk about the gappers. We got a few up over 100% right now. We got a couple, that's pretty much the most interesting ones. So we'll start there. We'll go through the dilution, the catalyst, talk about the daily chart, and get on out of here today. Got a webinar for all you four leafs out there. I got a webinar at 11 a.m. with Kyle. If you want access to that or any of the content that we provide on a daily and weekly basis, clovertrading.io is the place for you. 1, 2, 3, let's do it. MSS. Let's talk about it. Mason Solutions. That's the wrong area. Mason. Mason? Maybe it's just Mason with an I. It's a grocery store company. Together with its subsidiaries, operates as the specialty grocery retailer in California. Okay. Meat, seafood, and vegetables. Not bad, not bad. 2.96 million float on a 29 mil market cap out of the United States. 16 hours ago, they reported first quarter 2025 financial... Wait, what? Results? How could they possibly have the results for the first quarter of 2025?
Maybe they're reporting it early.
How do they know?
They're just really excited.
They literally mistyped. It's 2024, but I'm just looking. That doesn't seem right. I'm not usually not looking at these and thinking too hard, but it says first quarter 2025 financial results. But it's not possible. You couldn't have results of something that hasn't happened. Typo there. That's pretty sad. Who's checking this stuff? Cash flow positive of 3.59 million. And I don't see any relevant dilution. Do you?
Not on dilution tracker, at least.
Do you see it somewhere else?
I mean, what? This is a recent IPO. I mean, I think you could maybe look into some lockup shares. Like, it's been a year since they IPO'd back in October 5th, 2023. So
does this not look scammy at all to you? Or is that
no, it totally does.
okay.
Something super weird happened on 12/15 where it went from $15 to $2 in a day. That's kind of a red flag right there. Kind of puts it in the category of this could be one of those like scam IPOs that came out in 2023. Hard to know because, again, this is an American-based company, so we really have to go into the underwriters to really check out to see who's behind this thing and get us any kind of inclination as to what this thing really could be. So yeah, that's not something I've done.
Okay. Talking about the rest of the daily chart since that kind of dump day, whatever happened, we've pretty much topped out in the $2 area and have not been able to go higher. It's been fading off ever since with lower high, lower high, lower high. There's been some days with some decent volume, but the stock really has not been able to like really go anywhere and stay there for more than a day. We have kind of a couple tops here in the 120 to 130 area from just a few weeks ago. And right now we're pushing up in the 150s, 160s. Taking a look at the intraday. We kind of got this big spike yesterday on the news at 4 p.m. Spiked all the way up towards 2. That big $2 area on the daily chart have faded off quite nicely. And are just kind of consolidating here. 140, 150, 160 area. Kind of I don't know, it just feels like a different daily chart, like one that says it's up 122%, but I don't expect this to be super crazy volatile. But with a 2.96 million flow, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's moving like that right now. We'll see out of the gate. It's only done 11 million shares so far. On a $1 stock, that's not like crazy liquid. Well, I guess we will see once we get towards the open. But I'd be drawing my lines at that $2 area and thinking that I'm probably not interested in a multi-big month breakout over 2. But that's the line in the sand, the resistance that really matters. That would be yearly highs. It'd be pretty much the highs since the dumps. So it could be strong. There's still a lot of range left on this chart. It's an earnings winner if that's the case. It'd be nice to have a runner. Do you have anything else to add daily chart wise here?
Yeah, no, I kind of drew nothing different. I drew a line at that 250 area as well. It's pretty much where the stock hasn't been above since it had that dump day. Now, again, like, am I excited about, at all clicking the green button at 2 after it's gapping up 180% when it's by the time it's there? Like, no. So we'll see. I mean, there's not much for me to take from this daily chart. Like, this is the first day that it's really trading anywhere in the 10 million area volume, except for like day one of the IPO. And that was at much higher prices. So we'll see if it has the ability to run. But, at the same time, this is a mega bag holder chart. Tons of people who were excited about Myson's delivery, grocery service, whatever they are, got bagged. So opportunity for them to get out or opportunity for the stock to spike back. Not exactly sure. As far as I know, it is a earnings winner. Not that I think the earnings are good, but the reaction to the earnings has been positive. So spelling error or not, it does not matter. Price action is telling us that there was something in the earnings that people are liking. How far does it go? I have no idea. In that tricky dollar range, and has that key level of 250 overhead. But again, it's not on like any like massive volume. It just kind of looks like a breakout area. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it, I feel like if it is going to break out, it's got to digest and consolidate. That's kind of what my gut feeling says. So it's got to maybe hang around here for a day and start to trade. And again, just digest this gap up come market hours. And once we have real volume, and I think that's going to really set the tone here for whatever this is.
Yeah, I think it is a former liquidation play from back in 2023, which kind of always, everything we just said, take with a grain of salt. There is always the extra fear of it being manipulated, of it being a promo or a pump. And those can definitely be tricky to trade. The ones I think about, like if this were to succeed, I think about like Holo, MLGO, in that category. And so we'll see if it falls into that category, if this just kind of pops and fails. But it is a former liquidation look, and it is popping right now up into the 170s, just short of that resistance. So we will keep this one on watch, up 142% right now. So love to see that continue to climb. And we'll see what that one has in store for the rest of the day. Next one on the list is SEAL, SEEL. Let's take a look at the tracker. Sealos Therapeutics, 6.94 million float out of the United States, a biotech company. They are a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on the development and advancement of novel therapeutics to address unmet medical needs for the benefit of patients with central nervous system disorders and other rare diseases.
Ketamine stock.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see that?
They want to give you drugs.
Okay. 1 hour ago, they announced the signing of a material transfer agreement with the U.S. Army Medical Material Development Activity to evaluate SLS for treatment of PTSD. Is that material spelled wrong, or is that actually what the U.S.
Grammar Nazi today?
Hey, I know. Am I not? I'm gonna look real quick. USAMMDA. No, that's how you spell it with that. Okay. I don't know. I've always been that way. I always like see it and I'm like get annoyed with it. All right. So the news is what it is. They have negative 1.9 months of cash left. What do you see in the dilution here?
Nothing that's in the money at 40 cents. We do have some warrants that are readily, well, they say register, but they still say, required shareholder approval. I don't know if they've gotten that. We'd have to kind of get an update on that. But 61 cents is that level, which again, we are nowhere near. And there's really only 2 million warrants there, so it's not anything crazy. But I think it is in their best, interest to go exercise those guys. But they're still quite far away. Not sure if they're going to be able to get there. Another 50% higher from where the stock is in the pre-market. Also, this is an oldie but goodie, right? I've traded SEAL a number of times throughout my life. I don't know how successful over the long run, but it's been a thing that's always been kind of just like this pump and dump, right? This kind of fits the bill for just one of those piece of crap stocks that continuously does reverse splits, dilutes the crap out of their company, has no cash, and then need to get their stock over $1, so they do another reverse split. I've seen it a ton of times with this company, and you can tell, even in their cash, they got negative 1.8 months of current cash, negative 1.8 million of current cash. They burn 2.8 million a quarter, so they need cash pretty bad. They're selling drugs. They're a 30-cent stock. This is just a carcass of a stock, I think. But doesn't mean it can't run. Of course, like carcasses of stocks are probably the ones that can run the most, right? Because, shorts want to attack the crap out of them. We know that it's horrible. And then demand starts to push, and it can still squeeze.
Yeah, top left to bottom right chart here. This one is just a long-term pooper, just making its way downtown over the years. A couple attempts here recently in July and August were kind of little 2-day runs. First one from 47 cents to a dollar, and then 20 cents to 45 cents. So has definitely been able to muster up some moves on light-ish volume. This day right here that topped out did 66 million, so decent volume for a low-price stock. Right now kind of gapping and trying to be the first time in a long time that this stock has been able to break a previous high. It's really just been every spike has been beaten down so hard afterward that it's really been impossible to bite into that resistance and head higher. So if it were to break over this 40s, what is this exactly, 46 area, that would kind of be a multi-month breakout. Probably, again, not one that I'm super interested in just because it would be up 120%-ish around there, at least right out of the gate. Maybe if I saw the price action around that area, saw some serious volume, saw it like trapping to the downside or something. But again, those are really rare cases. And if I traded everyone that's breaking a prior resistance level on a day one gapper, I'd find myself losing a lot more than I do. So I really try to look at these from the perspective of that they're built for poop and they're going to fail. And the ones that don't, I really want to be aware of the levels that matter. And this is just a daily chart that has failed over and over and over again. But like I said, there is some precedent to a 2-day run. So maybe this is just the beginning of a move that goes into tomorrow. A lot of hours left in the day before that. But so we kind of have two different ends of the spectrum here. Former liquidation play gapping this morning and then another cheapie. What was the cheapie yesterday that ran? Was it Cobble? But wasn't that cheap? Did we have anything in the sub $1 range yesterday?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I just don't remember them.
But here we are up 101% on SEEL. I don't think too much into the news or the catalyst here. They got some sort of agreement that there's no real buzzwords that I think get people going. There's really nothing to buzzword right now that people are all that interested in that I think could be a great catalyst. So we'll just continue to sit back and wait for that. But that is SEEL. Is there any other big gappers on the day that you really want to hit on or talk about? Or just want to answer some questions and get on out of here?
The ladder.
You want to go on a ladder?
I want to take a ladder to the moon.
Let's see what you guys are saying. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate if you guys could get that number to 50. Once it's at 50, if you want to continue to hit it, continue hitting it. If not, we're really just happy with 50. So make sure you hit that. China theme this morning. Impurity says MSS falls into that category, as well as a few other tickers they mentioned all gapping this morning. Yeah, and you can kind of just always... Can't always assume, I guess, because what is that? Makes an ass out of you and me. Too much assuming. But when you see IPOs that have this kind of dumpster fire of a day after just kind of trading, and then death, and it goes back down to like sub 5, you can usually make some assumptions that that's not normal. And we've seen it before. Unfortunately, we've seen it all too many times over the past couple of years. Me and Huddie,
I think the most important
probably
thing
try to participate in that.
I think the most important thing in the stock market is just to have the right information and data, and then make your own educated decision based off the information that's in front of you, right? Like, it's pretty clear to me that something really bad happened with MSS. There's no doubt about it. Something horrible happened, and if you want to be long biased, you can put yourself in front of something that can be absolutely horrible. If you want to be short biased, we've seen stocks like this squeeze crazy, and it can be absolutely horrible. So, or none of that could happen, right? So it's your personal decision to make. But like when I see a stock like this, my brain says, take it off my screen. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care what it does. I'm not going to trade it. That's my decision to make. It's not that it doesn't fit a ton of criteria for me for a gapping crap, and it honestly does. But it also doesn't fit one of those striking ones that I really like to adhere to, which is I don't want to trade stocks that have the ability to go from 18 to 2 in a day. I know it sounds like those are the ones we should trade, but in reality, from my experience, those are not the ones I like to trade.
Very cool. Very nice. Achim Natsu Legend asking a question about market years between 2022, 23, 21, 20, 2024, and the years beforehand. Um, Not really a great question for Good Morning Nasdaq. Really trying to focus on the tickers right now, and so maybe a good question for Wine Wednesday. So maybe save that one, put it in your pocket, ask it tomorrow, or as always, you can ask us over at Clover Trading, just because that's kind of a off-topic question about market performance. But we'd be happy to answer it in a different setting when we have a little bit more time. El Jefe asks, how are we feeling about LASE today? Looking to play first red day or give it some time? Taking a look at the daily chart. Yeah, pretty insane volume here. Kind of a stock that looked left for dead. I think Kyle, we all tried to, but Kyle actually got short this first red day here on a Good Morning Nasdaq episode of live trading.
Wasn't that just 1 week ago? Oh, I guess maybe 2.
No, it has to be 2.
That's 10 days.
Kind of built back, ended up breaking out, and then yesterday you have this volume day in which it does over 13 million when it really couldn't muster more than 2 or 3 on any given day. It's interesting, and you get sort of sketchy vibes, but you also try to maybe just treat it like the pattern because it's had good first red days. And then you have the fact that it's down 13% already, and yeah, it has a precedent of once it's red for the first time, it kind of dies. But I would really prefer to have this to have gapped up is my main things. And chasing it down 30% is a lot more difficult to me. And you're always probably, unless you add more risk on the table, going to make a lot less when you have this circumstance where the overextended gap down, rarely ever gets that spike. And if it does spike, they usually just blow you out and go right through the highs. So I'm definitely watching.
I agree with that.
I totally agree with that. As a not a professional short seller, but I have memories. And, yeah, I'm watching it for a first red day, but it's gapping down a little too much for my liking right now. What are your thoughts?
On Lace, yeah, I have 2 concrete thoughts that I like. On one hand, we have a situation where the stock has been, it broke out at 9. So that's kind of where I'm judging extension from. And from 9, it's gone to 18. So roughly 100%. That's pretty decent extension. We have some sped up price action on the daily candle, which is exactly what we like to see. Especially going into day 4 or 5 on its uptrend. The issue I really have here is the volume. So that's one concrete thought. The one concrete thought is yesterday was kind of a blow-off move. We have blow-off volume. We have extension. Today should be a fully verified first red day in terms of criteria. On the other hand, we were trading this consistent volume for the 9-12 days that this thing has been trading, and then yesterday we have I guess the official breakout day. Just came a little late, and then the volume came in, and it's a lot of volume, and that is weird. It's not consistent. It just feels like that was a little bit abnormal, and so if that kind of volume comes back in again and it is trading near the highs, I think it could definitely squeeze. But if that volume is no longer there, then I think we're gonna have another really nice first red day. So it's kind of that 50-50 gamble type of thing. I could see a reason why this would be a little bit strange, and I could see a reason why this would work perfectly. If I am going to probably trade a multi-day chart today, I'm probably looking for an entry somewhere on that chart and keeping risk in mind first.
Yeah, still got 12 minutes to go till the open, so we'll see if this one heads lower or holds up right here. So far, pretty low volume in the pre's markets. It is 9:19. Wow, that happened quickly. Last question, we'll get on out of here. Rocky says, Huddie, can you explain what you mean by in the money? I'm guessing just warrants. So quick, 2 seconds.
Yeah, so the warrants on SEEL are at 61 cents. So if those warrants were going to be in the money, the stock would have to be above 61 cents. Meaning if they executed their warrants, they would be in a profitable situation in the money. Right now, they'd lose money if they executed.
Because the current price is at 39.83.
Yeah, the warrants are just basically saying we can sell. We have the option to sell common stock at 61 cents. So at 38, they're out of the money. They're down 50%, or whatever the number is, 30, 40.
Yes. All right, everybody. It's 9:19 a.m. That wraps up another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq. Really appreciate you guys being here this morning with us. Thank you for the likes. We are excited and happy, and really just looking forward to tomorrow because we have a little live trading session, 9:15 a.m. right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. Kyle will be here as well running the show, and we're excited for that. So looking forward to Free Wednesday tomorrow where we have 7 p.m. Eastern Wine Wednesday as well. And all you four leafs out there, we have a webinar with me and Kyle today at 11 a.m. So be sure to tune in and check that out and bring all your questions. You have at least an hour with us. We're going to sit here, look at the market, and answer your guys' questions. So have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Stay safe out there. Follow your rules. Be disciplined. And we will catch you guys tomorrow.